What gave you the confidence?
Delusion.
Bang Bang MMA Gang. Now today's video, we list the top 5 most delusional fighters in the UFC. Now when I say delusional, it could mean people that are completely just coping, can't take a loss, or just that don't have the same sentiment the majority and the masses of the public have of them. Now, there's a big difference between absolute delusion and deluded in the brain, losing brain cells, and confidence. Confidence, we get it. You think you can be this and that, but delusion is another world. Listen, this is going to be one heck of a list. Lock in, get your popcorn, and that is that. Starting off, we have number 5, a guy that could be higher and should be higher. But there's 4 guys more deluded than him. Delusional. It's Jamahal Hill. Jamahal Hill is the number 5 most delusional fighter in the UFC. Now, why do I say that? He is on an absolute cope tour. Copium is what that guy inhales every day. They're fighting each other, him and Alex Pereira. He kicks Alex in the nuts. Herb Dean comes in and stops the fight. Alex says, you know what? Stop, Herb Dean. I'm good. I'm going to keep going. Jamahal Hill then proceeds to throw the first punch and gets flatlined. Guess what his narrative is? Oh, him and guys of Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan, but he is on a cope tour talking about, I paused. You threw the first punch, buddy. It's not like you paused, your hands were down, and you got left hook. You threw the first punch. Your hands were up. You were defending yourself. Stop with the fucking cap. You are on an absolute cope tour. Copium is what you inhale nowadays. And the thing about Jamahal Hill, you're a delusional fighter. You really think that you're supposed to fight Carlos Ulberg. Now, if you beat Carlos Ulberg on this card and called out Alex Pereira, that could have been something. You pulled out something, your tummy hurt, you got injured, something happened, and you see Alex Pereira after talking all this shit online. You see him in real life and you dap him up. Now, I'm not with the violence. You're not supposed to hit a guy on fight week or just in general outside of the cage, but keep the same energy. Just tell the guy, oh, I'm going to see you soon. See you soon. Like, see you soon, boy. Like Yoel Romero, something. The guy goes up and daps him up. 3 hours later, he says, I'm coming for you. An absolute copium tour by Jamahal Hill, the number 5 most delusional fighter in the world. And that is that. Moving on. Number 4. It's Marlon Chito Vera. Marlon Chito Vera. First of all, the cool guy act is up, bro. The whole cool guy. That's why people love Chito. That act is up. He gets 50-45. Talk about delusion. 50-45. Almost gets flatlined by Sean O'Malley. Goes on the Jackson's podcast with Rampage Jackson and Bear and says, oh, that guy, he got a little better, man. I just need to work on my athleticism. Not giving no credit and absolute delusion. The first fight, you can see he has a little bit of he's a quitter. This fight, he got a little better. Buddy, you didn't deserve the title shot to begin with. You got 50-45 by Corey Sandhagen, and the world knows you lost to Pedro Munoz. What are we fucking talking about? Deluded brain is what we're talking about. Brain cells, like certain guys, they have a great chin, and they can't get dropped or whatever, but that comes at a cost. You get a great chin, you get CTE quicker. CTE is what Chito Vera has. He literally, in his mind, all he has to do is get a little bit more athletic. They asked him, what is your next fight? He said, oh, I want to fight with Piotr Yan. And then I'm back with Sean O'Malley. We're 1-1. Fucking delusional. You're never getting that fight again. You got that fight because Sean O'Malley asked for it. You're an absolute delusional fighter. The cool guy act is up. And that is that. Moving on. We have a special guest at number 3. He's not a fighter. It's Dana White. Dana White is delusional. Not to bring up the whole power slap stuff, that because he really, I wasn't even going to go there, but the guy said power slap is going to be bigger than the UFC one day. Delusion. Absolute delusion. That wasn't the point I was going, but that sets the bar for how delusional this guy is. This guy goes to millions of podcasts, unsolicited, unasked, brings up that Jon Jones is the number one pound for pound fighter today. Now, you bring that up 6 years ago. 6 years ago, you got me. I can't say nothing. But in what world does a guy that hasn't fought for 3 or 4 years comes back and beats the worst grappler at heavyweight in a fucking fluke of a fight, the number one pound for pound fighter? Well, he never lost. That does not mean he's pound for pound today, Dana. You deluded fucking brain rot kid. That does not mean he's the best fighter today. We're talking about a guy that's clearly ducking Tom Aspinall. Dana White has a guy in Islam Makhachev. Now, I'm on the borderline on the fence with Islam. I'm a Dustin fan. I'm a Charles fan. I don't like he beat those guys. I thought he lost the first Volk fight. But hey, the truth is the truth. The truth can never be considered disrespect. Islam Makhachev is the best pound for pound fighter right now, and it's close. Alex Pereira is better. Fucking Leon Edwards is better when it comes to pound for pound ranking. Pantoja, who people don't like watching, has cleaned out that fucking division. If we're talking about pound for pound, how do you think guys like Mokaev are in the title shot picture? It's because he cleaned out the division. He beat Moreno. How many? There's so many guys I would have over Jon Jones, but Dana White, unsolicited, unasked, just brings up Jon Jones. Anybody who thinks Islam, and I love you, Islam, anybody who thinks Islam is the pound for pound number one is an absolute dummy. Dana White, go back. Like, I can't wait for the day, and I might be coping myself in a delusional way, but I can't wait till the day where Hunter Campbell actually steps up and locks in and becomes the president and locks in. Dana White is focused on power slap, focused on nut hugging Jon Jones, and I don't get it for the life of me. And that is that. That was number 3. Moving on, number 2, the second most delusional fighter in the company is one Ian Machado Gary. Ian Gary, who's coming off an absolute couple snooze fest of fights. Now, you think a guy that is proclaims himself, self-proclaimed, as the best striker in the UFC, striker turned wrestler, holds down Michael Venom Page, has one, I'll give him the first round where he almost had the rear naked choke. But outside of that, this guy is on bottom with a body lock. How do you have a body triangle on bottom? That you're just forcing yourself to stay there. That means you're stuck. You want to be stuck and just holding on for dear life. Imagine a bottom fighter. It's not even a closed guard. Closed guard, you can elbow. Certain stuff you can do. This guy has a body lock from the bottom. That means at no point in time does he want you to stand up. Coming off, you would think Ian Gary would have some sort of, I wouldn't say guilt, but some sort of like understanding that I had a boring fight against a striker that was willing to strike with me, that caught me a couple times. But no, he goes to the press conference, the post-fight press conference, and says, "Ooh, I wobbled him in the second. Did you guys see me throwing a lot of calf kicks? He's gonna counter my calf kicks." Oh, that's actually smart because MVP would have blitzed off those calf kicks because you're closing the distance and your body's square. Then he goes on to say, in a couple years, in 10 years, the GOATs are gonna be Jon Jones, GSP, Mighty Mouse, Anderson Silva, and Ian Machado Gary. In what world does somebody coming off a snooze fest in a fight where people thought, even Dana coming out saying it was a draw, a lot of people thought MVP won. Where is the humility? Where's the understanding? Where is the self-acknowledgement? Like, yo, I gotta get better. But in his mind, oh, I'm Ian Gary, Ian Machado Gary. I got my wife's name. That was that was a low blow. But Ian Gary's delusional. He's talking about calf kicks. He's talking about being one of the best ever. Then says, I want to be Shavkat. I want to take Shavkat 0. Delusion. Talks about Colby, talks about Kamaru Usman, talks about he's going to be champion. This guy's absolutely fucking delusional. Jeff Neal, I don't know why he didn't commit to his punches. Could have got him out of there. We've seen him get dropped. let's be honest. The guy's delusional. The guy's talking about he's going to be one of the best ever, coming off a snooze fest in a fight where people thought he lost. And that is that, Ian Gary, it's time for you. I almost forgot. Ian Gary goes to shoot the box. Trains with Charles Oliveira. Trains with Damian Maia, the two best. Damian Maia, definitely the best grappler ever in submission-wise. And the guy acts like he's one of them. You're not, pal. You had a rear naked choke cinched up and you couldn't finish. Damian Maia finishes. Charles Oliveira finishes. Gilbert Burns finishes. Ortega finishes. Dern finishes. Pretty much any person finishes. You're not one of them. You're not a good jiu-jitsu guy. Stop with the... You're facing a guy in Michael Vinovich who didn't know when you're in clinch against the cage, fish for the underhooks. The guy is... I don't even want to get into MVP. Ian Gary, you're delusional. Shavkat flatlines you. Anybody with actual power who commits to their punches will absolutely disintegrate you and flatline you, and that is that. Moving on. The most delusional fighter in the company, and might be in the company's history, is the one, the only, Israel, the dog toucher, Adesanya. Israel Adesanya has coined the term or the saying, I beat that guy once. Think about those words. He said Alex Pereira is going to be in the favelas in a bar one day saying, I beat that guy once. How the fucking tables have turned. Alex Pereira comes to the UFC, gets a couple wins, beats Bruno Silva, gets a couple wins, flatlines Sean Strickland, gets Israel Adesanya in a fight he's losing 3-1, comes into the fifth and flat finishes him. Guess what Adesanya does? Adesanya goes into the next fight. Israel Adesanya gets the flukiest KO I've ever finished versus a depleted, versus a drained Alex Pereira. And now every time Alex wins, he posts a video of him flatlining Alex. Think about this. Jamal Hill gets flatlined. He posts a video of him flatlining Alex. Yuri just got flatlined, and he picks always against Alex Pereira. Yuri gets flatlined, and what does he do? He posts a video of him flatlining Alex Pereira in a fight he was losing. His leg was completely gone. He fucking had to play possum. Think about this. He couldn't beat him normally standing up. He couldn't grapple like he said he could. He had to play possum. And touche, he got him. He had to play possum and then explode and get him. But in what world does Israel Adesanya now say, I beat that guy once? How the tables have turned. You are the guy that beat that guy once. Every time he succeeds, you post a video of him getting flatlined by you. You're on a coke tour. You're delusional. You're losing every fight to him. You're an absolute delusional menace. Fuck Israel Adesanya. You're a fucking loser. Keep it up. If there's any chance you get past DDP, I'm actually praying you get past DDP. I will pick against you, but I'm praying you get past DDP. If you get past Dricus du Plessis, there is a world where we get that super fight again. And when you get flatlined, the series will be 4-1. Then what? He who laughs, whatever you said, he who laughs last laughs best. See you soon. We'll see you soon, boy. And that is that. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend that the MMA gang is in, and that is that. Shine.